Thank you, Brenda, for that. Now let's talk about Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza. How did the governor survive another attempt by the county assembly to remove her from office? Was this a pure quasi-judicial process, or was it a political one? Intrigues of her survival points to a split in Kenya Kwanza and a fight between different factions that eventually paved way for her survival, as Grace Nganga reports.
Yet again, embattled Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza survived another political onslaught barely a year in office after all charges were dismissed by the Senate during the impeachment hearing at the Senate. She survived all the counts, even though some were so apparent and would have warranted a yes vote. She was first impeached by the Assembly in December 2022, but an 11-member Senate Special Committee appointed to probe the grounds for her impeachment submitted a report stating that none of the charges leveled against her was proven. But just how did she retain that lucrative position for a second time? Sources revealed to KTN News of fights within two factions at the Senate and forces from outside that seem to have worked in favor of the embattled governor. The first was between Agriculture CS Minthika Linturi and his public service counterpart Moses Kuria, where it said Linturi backs the Meru deputy governor and is a staunch ally of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, whereas Kuria has never hidden his open support of the governor. Kuria is said to take a contrary position in any matter proposed or seconded by Linturi or even the deputy president. The fact that Linturi, who may be positioning himself to run for governor in 2027, favors the deputy, meant that Kuria had to take an obvious opposite direction. Linturi also knows that it will be hard to uproot a first-time governor, even though voters in Meru have showed otherwise in the last election after Peter Munya lost to Kiraitu Murongi, who lost to Kawira Mwangaza. But that was not the only dynamic to work in Kawira's favor. Long before the motion was heard, there were other cards on the table. This is where the second faction comes in. Sources tell us of a split between Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot and Narok Senator Ledama Olekina after Ledama proposed to the Speaker for the formation of a special committee that will probe the allegations against Governor. This motion by Ledama will fall flat after Cheruiyot wondered why it was Ledama to bring the motion. To defeat this motion, Cheruiyot is said to have nominated senators who have been seen as monopolizing committee, knowing very well his act will cause an uproar from other members. This done, the senators opted for plenary to defeat Cheruiyot's nominees and thereby sending the motion to plenary. It is also said the senators have always complained of not being involved during such motions. In order to get everyone involved, a committee of the whole house had to be convened. Ledama lost to Cheruiyot, who automatically ran the show. The confusion and intrigues handed Kawira Mwangaza yet another lifeline as her battles were fought. She watched somberly dressed modest and adapted a very reconciliatory tone. Her image was not of someone chest-thumping, high-handed or boastful, full of bravado, but a cornered, victimized individual. From the opposition side, sources tell KTN News that Raila Odinga declined to get involved. The Azimio team was never whipped. Instead, they were left to vote with their conscience. The vote has, however, received mixed reactions.
Tuko na furaha isiyo na kifani kwa sababu ya kurudishiwa gavana wetu Kawira Mwangaza.
Ukiwa umesimama na ukweli na kiongozi ni Mungu upeana.
Charges such as contempt of court, misappropriation of funds to the tune of 78 million and naming a road after her husband were seen as very apparent, yet the voters showed otherwise. The county once again lost to the first woman governor of Meru County. It's back to the drawing board for both parties. Grace Nganga, KTN News, Nairobi.